something of what we've been able to come up with. And so I think it's really exciting to be able to share this with you. And so before I actually show the scores for habitats, just to orient you to kind of how this data is being visualized, we have our 3 components of vulnerability. Adaptive capacity is on the y-axis, and it ranges from low adaptive capacity to high. Sensitivity and exposure are averaged on the x-axis, and that, again, ranges from low to high. And you'll see if a species or a habitat or ecosystem service has very low adaptive capacity and very high sensitivity and exposure to climate and non-climate stressors, it's going to be highly vulnerable. On the other hand, if a resource has very high adaptive capacity and very low sensitivity and exposure to those stressors, it will have a very low vulnerability. And so I do want to kind of put out the disclaimer that the placement of the resources that you'll see on this figure is categorical, and so it doesn't reflect the raw scores. And this is really just a method for us to visualize the data when we're actually looking back at this information to help develop management strategies and to prioritize those resources. We'll be looking at those raw vulnerability scores. So to start out with habitats, the first thing I noticed is there's really not much spread here in the adaptive capacity. All the habitats ranked about moderate or moderate high ability to adapt to change. On the other hand, there's great spread in the sensitivity and exposure of habitats. And when you do look at the raw scores, the most vulnerable habitat that we had scored was beaches and